Hey everyone, it's Cosmo, and welcome to another one of these memory card videos. If you don't know, this is more of a rougher series of videos I do, where I ramble about games that I've been playing recently, or talk about things that I just want to show off, or I guess whatever else really that isn't gonna take me an extended period of time to edit. Just think of it as my own gaming journal, but in video. But today I want to show off a cool little series to you guys that I enjoy playing every so often called Umihara Kawase, a Japanese platformer series that's liable to give you a heart attack because of how stressful these games can be. But I'm exaggerating, of course. The Umihara Kawase games, frustrating as they can be, are a pretty addicting bunch of little games that I find really enjoyable. So let's start by taking a look at the first game in the series, Umihara Kawase. Released exclusively for the Super Famicom in '94, but later ported to Windows. The gameplay, as you can see, is pretty straightforward, as it only focuses on one mechanic: using a fishing line, both as a grappling hook and in its intended purpose to capture some of these enemies. It's your job to swing around with it and find your way to the end of each level. This is one of those games that's super easy to learn, but impossible to master. This game isn't just a platformer either, it's a puzzler too. There are some levels in this game that are gonna require you to think outside the box to beat them, or at least rethink how you approach them. I mean, the chances are you're gonna suck at this game the first time you play it, trust me. But the physics, or rubbering action as they like to say on the cover of this game, is something that you can learn to get a sense for. There's even some advanced techniques you can learn, like rocket jumping, where you use the tension from the line to launch yourself forward, and wall climbing, which is pretty self-explanatory. If you want to see something really nutty, then just look at a speedrun for this game. It's crazy to see how people have broken it. This is also a pretty game. A pretty surreal game as well, with some unknown lore. See, our protagonist here is a girl named Umihara Kawase. And forgive me because I haven't done too much research into its story and everything, but from what I recall, in Japan she's just a girl who likes fishing, and this entire game is a journey through her imagination. But I think when this game was translated to English, they actually turned her into an aspiring sushi chef who's searching for ingredients. I don't really know how it all works. Maybe a bigger Umihara Kawase fan can tell me in the comments or something. But I'll tell you what doesn't make anything about the series any clearer. The Umihara Kawase manga, released just a year after the first game. I've read through some of this manga, and it's a far cry from what I was expecting. Kawase is like battle hardened, and she has abilities, like she can breathe underwater, and she has enhanced strength and stuff. Reading through this manga was definitely not what I was expecting from this. But if I'm being really honest, I don't think it's that bad a read. I mean, sure, it's not what I was expecting, and it has its cliches, but for a spin-off manga about a girl who uses her fishing line as a grappling hook, I think they could have done worse. Way worse. The only reason why I haven't finished it yet is because it's actually still being scanlated, but you know, you can keep up with it yourself on Mangadex, that's where it's being uploaded. I'll link to it below. Okay, and the next game in the series that I want to show off is Umihara Kawase Shun, the PlayStation sequel that plays a lot like the original with some updates. For instance, the levels have 3D environments now, Kawase has a new design, and in the original PlayStation version, there were actually adverts in this game that you can come across, which, I'm gonna be honest, I'm kind of iffy on these. I mean, I think the advertisements themselves look cool, and this is a really interesting thing to find in a game. But I'm not the biggest fan of a game interrupting itself to sell you a product. You know, like, it's one thing to drive past a Pizza Hut in Crazy Taxi, or use Energizer batteries in Alan Wake, but it's another for a game to stop you after finishing a level and have the protagonist say, "Hey, did you have fun playing that? Why don't you buy these fishing rods?" Besides that though, I still think this game is fun. I've actually put more time into this one than the original. A lot of the advanced techniques return as well. Again, there's something that you grow a feel for. I also have to compliment the new look as well. Flat PNG backgrounds are the best. I think this is the game that introduced the series to a lot of people as well, as it had a number of releases. First, it had a second edition on the PlayStation in 2000, then a port of that game to the PSP in 2008, and just a year later, it was brought to the Nintendo DS. And of course, this game got a PC release as well. I consider the next game, Sayonara Umihara Kawase, to be the easiest game in the bunch that I've named so far. This one was initially released on the 3DS, and it was the first game in the series to be released outside of Japan before the PC ports. That's what you're seeing right now, by the way. I'm not going to record the 3DS version. This game is very beginner friendly, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. For starters, they actually have tutorials in this game, written tutorials and guides, not the little clips that they would show before a level that showed off how you're supposed to do something. Also, unlike the previous games where you were trying to see how far you could get with a set number of lives, they've done away with that. Now they allow you to restart a level no matter how many times you've died. And the last big addition with this game would be the roadmap. So now you can see which levels you've completed and how much progress you've made in it. Maybe there's a hidden door in these stages that you need to find, or some backpacks which can unlock stuff for you like other characters and background music. As far as the gameplay itself goes though, well, this is still good old Umihara Kawase, but now with the addition of special abilities. Each character that you can play as has their own little specialty. This girl, Emiko, can use checkpoints, Noko can move in frozen time, and I don't think Kawase herself has anything special, but she can do what everyone else can do now, which is time stop. This lets you pause the game at any moment so you can choose which direction you want to shoot the fishing line in. I think these are fun ideas to spice up the gameplay, but I think they ruin the flow of the game too much. You know, when you're swinging back and forth and you want to be precise with when you let go and where you land, you don't want to interrupt that concentration. But it's still a fun game, I still enjoy playing it. And here's what's probably the most polarizing game in the bunch, Umihara Kawase Fresh. I don't actually know how people rate this game in particular, but I liked it, with the understanding that this game has a different vision. It is easily the most out there game of the bunch. I should also say that I've never played this game, at least not until recording footage of it for this video. The most apparent change with this one is the art style, but the gameplay got a huge change up as well. You still use your fishing line as a grappling hook, but now you have objectives and missions. There's even an entire story for you to follow. I was not expecting any of this going into Fresh. I haven't made it very far into Fresh, but so far it seems like the easiest game, even including Sayonara Umihara Kawase. This game kind of has an open world compared to the others. You're not looking for a door to enter this time around. Now they usually want you to fetch ingredients, or defeat some enemies, or deliver something to someone else. And as far as I know, the game world doesn't change at all depending on which mission you're doing. Which I wouldn't mind so much if the game actually gave us the opportunity to acquaint ourselves with this world. You know, the game points you to where you need to go in these missions, which I thought took some of the fun out of it. I'd rather explore with my cool grappling hook to find these ingredients myself, but they kind of railroad you into following their objective. Also, they've actually added a life bar, which means most enemies don't defeat you in one hit anymore. And they've added a hunger system that I'm guessing operates like the timer from the OG game in Shun. I've never had it run out on me though. I'm not opposed to the life bar by the way, but it is a sign that if you came to this game for the classic challenging style of Umihara Kawase gameplay, then you'd be better served playing one of the older games. I'm kinda split on Umihara Kawase Fresh. But there you have it, a quick look at the Umihara Kawase series. There are still some more Umihara Kawase games than the few I've talked about here. I believe the most recent release was a party game actually. And Kawase has also been featured in crossover games. Does anyone remember Blade Strangers, that completely average fighting game with a bunch of indie characters like Isaac and Shovel Knight and Gunvolt and Quote and Curly? Well, if you don't, Kawase and her friends are featured as playable characters in that as well. Back on the topic of the mainline games though. Well, you know that saying that goes along the lines of, if you want to make something great, you start with a simple idea, then give it a twist? I think these games are proof of that in action. I guess that's it for now though. I just wanted to show off a cool series of games.